Hey everyone, it's Megan Dooley here, and I'm coming to you today to just chat to you as a caregiver and talk to you a little bit about what you can do to help get more support for yourself and why support for you and your loved one is so crucial and important when getting that diagnosis of dementia. So I'm just going to chat to you a little bit about maybe some of the top 5 reasons that I really feel that getting a support network in place as soon as possible for you is key to helping you and your loved one navigate the disease progression, but also to maintain a healthy lifestyle and to maintain your own health and wellness as a caregiver. One of the first and most important reasons I feel that support is so necessary right away when getting diagnosed with dementia or getting the diagnosis of dementia for your loved one is that it's an educational experience. You didn't go to school, you didn't go to college to learn how to be a caregiver. So when you are asked in that moment, are told that your loved one has been diagnosed with this progressive chronic disease, you immediately are going to be taking on that caregiver role, even though they may not need it in that exact moment. You are already doing it because you start planning and you start thinking about all the what ifs and the future. And so getting some support is very crucial in those beginning moments. It helps you identify what does it mean, their diagnosis, what type of dementia do they have? Do they have frontal lobe? Do they have Alzheimer's? What's going on? Do they have a secondary or do they have a dementia related condition because of a brain injury or because of some other genetic disorder that they have, Huntington's, something like that. So educating yourself is going to be key because it helps you know. And since you can't know everything about the future of this disease for your loved one, it is helpful to understand in that moment what's going on, what may or may not occur in your future life, and also how to help navigate all of that and how to learn to become a caregiver. So that's the first thing that I really encourage you to do is educate, and that is a form of support. Getting in contact with the National Alzheimer's Association or your area chapter, you can call them. They can give you resources in your area. So the nice thing is once you call the national hotline, if there is a local area that they can refer you to an individual to talk to through that chapter, they will. But if it's not, what they can do is that person on the other end of the line has resources. They type in your zip code and they can look into what kind of support groups are in the area, what therapies are available, what neurologist is available, chiropractors, psychologists, psychiatrists. They have that list and they are your central go-to hub for a lot of information. The Alzheimer's Association website also has a lot of learning opportunities, whether it's webinars, whether it's continuing education classes, whether it's support groups. So start there. That is the first step to getting support because you have that tool at your hand. You can learn as you go. And if you're not ready to talk to somebody face-to-face or, have a therapy appointment or a meeting or something like that, it is step 1. The other reason is for safety. So you took your loved one in for a reason, whether they were noticing changes in their behavior, their memory, you were noticing those things. And safety comes in so many forms and shapes and sizes, and that is really tailored to your lifestyle. And having that external support is going to help you to identify if something truly isn't safe. Even though your loved one may say, it's okay, I can still do this, such as driving, staying home on their own. Are they still safe to do that? Are they still safe to cook when no one's home? That takes a support, that takes a whole team of people because there are people who are trained to look at their abilities to navigate, to process different tasks and can really hone in on, yes, your loved one can still drive. That's a very intense task. No, they shouldn't drive, but they can still navigate their way to the bus stop and take the bus to work or whatever that may be. But for you to put that on yourself as a caregiver, which you've just gotten this new role as a caregiver, this new title as caregiver, I don't know that you want to take on that role of making all these important decisions that can impact not only your life or your loved one's life, but many other people's lives. If they're driving and they shouldn't be, if they're cooking and the house burns down, if they shouldn't be home alone and they're found wandering out in weather like today, minus 30 degrees. You don't want to bear that, and you shouldn't bear that on your shoulders as a caregiver. So reach out, okay? Get somebody's professional opinion, get somebody to look at your loved one and help you see the changes in that person. The other thing that I really encourage with that is the fact that not only safety, but also health and wellness for yourself and your loved one. Alzheimer's, dementia, it's not curable, but it is definitely something that with a healthy lifestyle maybe can slow the progression down. So getting in contact with an entity that can help you choose healthy meals, can help you set up a good routine. So your nutritionist, an occupational therapist, the Alzheimer's Association can help you find those people. But to set up a good regimen, a consistent schedule every day, even if your loved one is just showing some mild symptoms at this time, they have pretty good memory. They're still able, they're very independent in their daily life. Starting that routine now is something that is so important for later in the disease progression, because that routine will become more automatic and it is very consistent, and that individual's body and brain and everything will will have a more easier time shifting to that as that disease progresses, and they can't remember what time of day it is. They can't remember if they had breakfast. So starting those routines early on, finding emotional and physical support. So is that a support group or a local gym? And if it's not a gym, just getting out and moving, walking is going to really help keep the blood flowing in our body and keep that person, yourself and your loved one, healthier longer. Because just because the brain is fighting this disease, we don't want to tell that person, you know, you can't go to the YMCA anymore. You shouldn't be out walking outside. You shouldn't go hunting. You should be able to still do those things, but have those professionals in place to help you make that decision on when to adapt those activities. If your loved one enjoys bow hunting, or they like to deer hunt, or they like to surf, or whatever it may be, you should have people there each step of the way to say, yes, they can still go do that with somebody with them. Okay, they can go do that, but they should no longer carry a bow. They should just go with their child or their friend and be a part of that task. They should go on the ocean and no longer go out to the deep waves, but they could stay on shore. That is why there's all this support out there. And again, you should not be having to make that decision yourself as the caregiver. The other thing to really look at is planning for the future. Support systems are going to help you with that and help you with that sooner, so that you are not faced with an emergent situation and having to make gut reactions and things off of emotions because somebody fell, because the individual with dementia got violent at night, or they are incontinent all over the home days in a row and you just don't know what to do. So you have an emotional reaction to find a different place for them to live. Now, that might be something that comes down the line, but to have that plan in place and to have those supports may say, hey, I'm not so afraid to call and ask for help because I've seen a change in my loved one. They are now wandering all night long. They're not sleeping, or they're incontinent a lot. What are my options? Instead of saying, I don't know what to do, I'm going to send them somewhere where someone can take care of them. It may be that one of those people in that support system you've created can give you some tips and tricks and help change the environment or the care provided in your home, and, you know, level out where that person is. So reach that nice plateau again. But you need to have that care support so that you are comfortable in those emergent situations to contact them. If you start talking to them in the beginning when things aren't, you know, too crazy or too overwhelming, you get to learn about these people, you trust them, and that way, if there's something that's really emergent, you're not going to feel judged. You're not going to feel looked at differently because that person's wandering or they went outside and you didn't know it. You are going to feel more comfortable because you know that they understand dementia and they understand that things happen and they're just here to support you. Last but not least is your health and wellness. Depression, anxiety, and isolation are huge for individuals with dementia and caregivers. And you as a caregiver, you need to take care of you. You need to still go out and see your friends. You still need to go to family events. But at times that can feel guilty. Do you bring the loved one with? Do you not? Who watches them if you can't bring them with? Those decisions can play such an emotional toll on somebody who loves that person dearly, and you may feel as if you're abandoning them if you're not bringing them with to a 90th birthday party. But having supports in place, they can help you navigate as you get continued evaluation or testing, or a therapist, an occupational therapist or speech therapist or whomever that's following you along on that journey. They can really tell you, hey, guess what? Actually going to that 90th birthday party is going to overwhelm that person and put them in a state of complete uncomfortableness. And you're going to end up leaving earlier because they are not comfortable. So don't feel guilty about it, because they are much more comfortable in their environment. And having one or two people maybe stop over after the party is best for them. But you're not going to always see it that way, because maybe for 30, 40, 50 years, you all went to the parties together. They loved those things. And now it feels like you're taking that away from them. So having support in place can help you have a sounding board for making day-to-day decisions about social engagements. What should you do? Having someone to talk to, a psychologist to talk to when you say, I just feel so guilty, or I'm so depressed because I haven't seen my kids in a year because I don't want to leave my loved one at home. That is something that I think is so crucial for you to have somebody to help you navigate respite care, or navigate a sounding board to say, you know what, you're amazing. You're great for doing this. And here is what we know about dementia and about a person going through the changes related to dementia, and that we can help you navigate, feelings and emotions and all of those things. But without that, depression is so high in caregivers. Anxiety is so high in caregivers because they don't know what is going to happen. They don't know what's coming. They don't know how to plan. And as their loved one continues to progress through the disease, you tend to lose, as a caregiver, the person that you probably went to the most to talk to about those questions and to make those decisions. And now it feels very isolating. So find that support system. That way you can go to your family, you can go to your friends, and have some educational information. You can talk to them about what you know, and you can feel better as a caregiver knowing that you are doing it right and you are taking care of that person, and yet you are still taking care of yourself. So if you haven't sought out support yet, you need to do that. You need to get out there, call the Alzheimer's Association, let them help you, let your doctor help you. Just reach out for help. Look up area support groups, because the sooner you get involved, the sooner you can feel connected and have those resources in place when tough decisions need to be made, or you're at a loss of what to do next. We never want to see you as healthcare providers get to a point where you just feel like giving up. That's not what we want for you. So I hope this gives you some more information. If you have more questions about that, I have a phone number down below and an email address. Please, please, please reach out, and I can help you navigate to resources in your area, support groups, therapists that can come into your home, anything and everything. I will help you with that. So have a great day, and know, caregivers, that you are cared about, loved, and so appreciated for what you do for your loved ones with dementia.